right. Hey, Chris, we're just going to give the good people a few moments to get inside of the live. What happens on Restream is it takes a couple of seconds to get in. And, I insist on doing my podcast live. So, this is the joys of live media with the internet. So we're just
Hmm.
going to give them a few minutes. As soon as I see that I have somebody in, I am going to go ahead and get started. And we do have some people coming in. So good evening, good evening, and welcome everyone. So this is a good show tonight. You know that my podcast talks about life, the good and the bad. We have Jacoby's Heart is my foundation that focuses on siblings who have lost siblings because they're often forgotten about. I chose that as my goal after watching my daughter who suffered after her brother was murdered. We also have Live Through It, which focuses on living life after tragedy. So, my goal here is to not let my son's death or my sister's death be in vain. If I could just touch one person and help them to live with grief, then that's my goal in life. We also focus on indie artists and giving them the break that they deserve. And my little specialty is the females, I must say that. But I will give any artist an opportunity to showcase themselves on my podcast. But tonight, we are talking with Chris. And Chris, mm, he's going to talk to us a little bit about life and where he went wrong. And now it's all about making it right. And I can actually join in that talk because we all have our past, right? So, what I like to do for my guests, however, is I like for them to introduce themselves, basically toot their own horn. So, without further ado, Chris, tell us just who you are.
Um, what's going on, everyone? Glad to be here with family. I go by the name of C-Town, uh, but I'm known as Chris. Uh, Royalty Music Group, based out in Atlanta. Um, I've been attached to Fleet for a couple of years now, so I'm just out in Atlanta, expanding my horizon.
Really? You gonna be all quiet on me tonight? That's all we got? That's all we gonna
Well,
get from you?
when you convert to something new in life, you kind of lose from where I came from. I carried a lot of aggression, so now I'm at where I'm at now. I'm just calm, I'm
You
at
just
peace,
calm.
I'm
I
at
gotta
peace.
get used to this, Chris. This is a
Yeah.
lot to get used to, the calm Chris. All right. So, Chris, how are we going to do this thing? Are we going to put each other on the hot seat and ask questions, or do you just want to just talk? I know that we in the pre-interview talked about you wanted to expound on the black woman and how she is mistreated and how she should be a queen. So I have a whole bunch of questions I want to ask you, but let's start there because the people that I actually told them about that that's what you were going to be talking about were
Right.
very, very interested in hearing the black man speak on this particular subject because we have so many women, me included, that have been mistreated in life by family, by friends, by their mates. So tell me a little more about your thoughts on the black woman and her being mistreated.
Um, it sometimes it starts as a young male in the household, and if it's a father figure there, whether it's a stepfather or a father or uncle or even an older brother, when you see um how they're treating women and you're young, sometimes we don't know. We get programmed with that, and it comes out in a later age, and we don't even know. But I was once
My bad. That's live, y'all. Go ahead.
I was once in that ignorant black male situation, and just converting, giving my life to God, and just being spiritual. You kind of take time and learn yourself, and you understand women. I mean, we're never gonna fully understand y'all because y'all emotional, but
Oh,
you,
there are
you
some men that are emotional too. Trust
oh,
me.
oh yeah, well, I mean men, but um, you kind of understand the purpose of a woman because us men come from women, so it takes that greater woman to bring out the better in a man. So if you don't, as a man, if you don't go through nothing in life, you're never really gonna get to the point where I say myself where I'm at, where I appreciate women.
So, what caused this change? So, are you saying that most of your life you didn't appreciate the woman? Like, what happened to get you to appreciate the woman? And the reason why I ask this is because I know you're saying you're not men, you can't speak for all the males in the world, but it just seems to me that men don't really learn until it says don't miss your water until your well goes dry.
Right.
So what happened?
Um, I went through I went through something with some racist police out here, and of course, where I'm from, I'm gonna protect myself. And I wound up almost losing my arm because they put one of them police dogs to attack me. And I got a chance to when I was locked up, I got a chance to sit down and really um let me say learn my purpose and saw the things that I was doing wrong, and I was kind of straying away from why I really moved to Atlanta. And once I came home, I got baptized, and I got into the Bible and just praying. And I mean, it's just things that I've done that I wouldn't approve of, or a black woman. I got to see what I was doing, and I said I have to correct this.
So how has, I know that for me, I have this rolling joke that I love Jesus and trap music. Like,
Right.
how have you found that people have embraced the new you? Sometimes you can be in a circle for so long
Hmm.
and you're doing things a certain way, and that's what you get used to.
Right.
But then when you want to, honor God in what
Hmm.
you're doing in the industry, what has that been like for you?
Well, I'm still the same person because he just wanted he just wanted to change my heart. So when your heart changes, your thoughts change. So I mean, my music hasn't changed. It's actually I actually mention God in my music. It's still street, it's still hard, but it's a message. You understand? And I was asking my spiritual mother. I said, why he didn't take away the street side? She said, because you're a warrior. He left that in you, So um, I'm a man of God, very spiritual, but I don't get in tune with that religion because you lose it, you know?
Yeah,
Because
I definitely
the,
know.
the religion thing, once you get too involved in that, you become judgmental.
Yeah. And I think, religion can be tough. It can be ritual. It can be certain expectations once you, proclaim that you have given your life over to God. I know that, we started out talking about women and how they should be treated like queens and different things like that. You said your music didn't change. If I
Uh,
can recall, you had some songs that some people could possibly think it objectified women.
well, I've never ever made a record where I'm downgrading women. Never.
I
Now,
didn't say downgrading,
I've
but
actually mentioned I've actually mentioned in the past whatever relationship I was involved with and what I endured from a black woman. But far as to disrespect all women, no. So if if you're a black woman and I'm dealing with you and I'm putting you on a queen level, yet you're not ready to receive and embrace it, then I can only treat you off the energy that you project.
Ooh. Are you saying that's how it was for you?
That's how it was. Because if when I was given that good me, she couldn't take it. So it's like, okay, this what you want, hold that. You understand?
All right. So, do you think that that's the path that, you've seen other men take that?
No, I can't say that. What happens is why I didn't fault her for giving that type of energy because
You said you didn't fault her?
no,
It
because
sounds like it because you're saying,
but wait, let me finish. When once I became who I am now, I realized I never got a chance to heal her heart from the relationship before. You
yeah.
understand?
Oh, I
So
understand. And that's what I was about to say.
if we don't become friends with somebody who we trying to build with first and have understanding and converse, then it's gonna head it's gonna lead to self destruction because if you don't know what somebody been through on both parts, male or female, it's gonna eventually show up because somebody gonna do something in the relationship to trigger something that happened in a prior situation,
And not only in the prior situation, there are women like me who didn't have good fathers.
right?
So it started long before that last situation. But to hear you say if she gives off that type of energy, then that's how she can be treated. I've heard that before. I've
Of
heard that
course,
from other
if if
men that
if
they may have
you
gone in to treat her well,
hmm
but the energy she gave off said that she
yeah,
wanted to be treated a certain type of way when
because
that's
of
your interpretation of her energy.
because of how she was treated prior.
I
Some
got that.
some get a kick and get off from that.
I
So
can't speak for
so
them. I
so
cannot confirm or deny that, but I think it's bad habit.
of course, it's like um, I've had conversations with women, and some were so used to abusive relationships where in a new one they would test their new situation to
Yeah.
provoke them just to see if. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But
All right.
it's the energy. It's all energy.
So now, if you were to meet a woman and she gave off that energy, what would you do differently?
And first and foremost, who I am now, um, I can already feel the energy. So within 3 seconds of a conversation, I already know the type of person you are. So I don't even allow access to myself in that. I don't even walk. See, when I say I change, I no longer hang out where I used to things I used to do. So if I do meet a woman, it's not in the club. You understand?
Right?
It might be church. I don't know. But it won't be in a negative spot. Because if I met you in a club, 9 times out of 10, that's where you're gonna always be at. So where's the relationship gonna go to?
That's an interesting thought because I think a lot of women are just wondering where to meet a guy, you know. So
You can't you can't as a woman you can't wonder where to meet a guy because if you are of yourself and you love yourself and you put God first and you spiritual. A man chases the woman don't chase the man. Y'all pick us. Y'all know if y'all gonna allow us to walk up to y'all, if y'all gonna give us the number, well shit, if y'all gonna take us home the same night. So y'all can't go see if you keep looking for it, then you're gonna keep repeating and rehearsing what you already been through. So
That's good nuggets.
when
That's
you
good nuggets.
when you sit down and give yourself the same time and energy you were putting into those bad relationships, and you put it into yourself, you start loving yourself more. So now the vibration and the energy, you go on track what you are.
But that's, for me, that's not necessarily true because I network in the club.
Hmm.
I may DJ in a club. I
Hmm.
may have, be watching an artist in a club. And also, Tanya in the comment says, a woman being in the club, it may be the first time she's been in a club for months. That doesn't mean she's there all the time.
Not at
And
all.
and I agree.
But now you got to look at her entourage.
What if she's alone?
Then that's a different ball game.
I,
Then
I just
that's a different ball game. And I respect it because now you can see where she at. But where I'm at in Atlanta, most women go to them clubs to
to what? I don't know. I'm not
to
in Atlanta.
to
I'm
set
not most women. What?
most women go to these clubs in Atlanta to set them thirst traps.
To do what?
Set them thirsty traps.
Oh, set the thirsty traps for the men.
Okay. And then
Okay.
but here's the thing though. Then when a man get caught up in, he say, she finessed me. But watch this though. We play a fault too because we have set thirst traps.
Okay. I was
We
just letting you finish your thought now.
we have
'Cause-
set thirst traps. So you have to know the difference between a want and a need. So if you searching for a queen, it's gonna come to you regardless. But when you go out searching, oh, you gonna get the bullshit.
Okay. So, uh, it, this is going way where I didn't want it to go, but I gotta ask while we're on the subject: if a man and a woman are single, are
Hmm.
you saying they should not? There's certain places they should not look to meet anybody, or I'm hearing you say they shouldn't look.
Not at all.
Basically,
What I'm trying to say is, if you go looking, see when things happen natural, like I could be in the club, woman could be at a bar, we catch eye contact, right? I go up to her, hey, how you doing? It's like that. And then I go my way, she go her way. Now, outside the club, if the conversation continues, then it's different. But if I'm going to the club with my boys and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna bag something tonight, what you think I'm going to track?
I hear you. So you're saying it's your energy for what if you're going out just to listen to good music, have you a drink or some hot wings, you'll have better results than you're going out looking and setting that thirst trap. That's what you're saying,
Of
right?
course.
All right, got it. All right, so you also mentioned that a person has to know their purpose.
Hmm.
And for me, I'm on the part of my journey where, I'm just questioning the universe. I'm just questioning God,
Right.
Lord, what is my purpose? And I came up with I went to school for broadcasting. I never got the opportunity to really do it. And now I'm in a situation where I can do it, and I'm starting out right here,
Hmm.
hoping for international success at this point, like I've done my duty in life to my friends, my family, my children, and I just feel like my purpose
Hmm.
now is to help people live through it,
Of
is to
course.
help
See,
people.
the thing about it was, all them years you were putting in that work, it just still wasn't your time because he wasn't finished molding you. So he'll give you something small, like right now, to see how you manage it. And, and,
That's
and that's
good.
when the bigger comes. So and you have to really step out into what you want. So when you writing down the needs you want in your life, it becomes a purpose. So now once you put a foot forward, he gonna catapult you into, you understand? But
Right.
we can't just go like, yeah, I can do this, so we go, because it's not gonna work.
So I was, wanted to ask you as a black man, experiencing, the brutality with the police, experiencing the industry and now experiencing basically that you want to change your life. uh, has your purpose changed because you've given your life over to Christ,
Well,
or is your purpose still the same?
my purpose never changed because I just found my purpose.
So you didn't know your purpose
Not at
prior
all.
to.
Not at all. I knew my talent, but not my gift and my purpose.
So how did you find it?
Um,
How did it reveal itself to
I
you? I think so many people
I
ask
got
me
out of
that all the time.
I
How do
got
I
out of
find my purpose?
because I gave more time to myself. I gave more time to God. And when you give the same energy that you were giving into a relationship, and you always drain. But if you give that same energy into yourself, you're not going to drain yourself. So I learned to shut everything out and become one with myself. And as I did that and prayed for certain things and not of uh, finance or luxury, that gift just it just was like, this is your purpose,
And,
you
and,
know.
and what is it? What is your
Um,
purpose? Can you share that with us?
just my purpose is breaking the curse. My purpose is breaking the curse of this skin color I carry. You know, one thing I did was I asked God to remove the niggerish vocabulary and give me a vocabulary of a king.
Hey, that's
So,
awesome.
because I've learned, um, you have a young black man who came from a good house, go to a good school, but he want to hang in the hood. So it's not you're not a sucker or soft for doing right, for staying on the sidewalk. You're not soft because you put God in your life.
Actually, it makes you stronger.
Of course, because we too worried about what other people
People
think or
think.
say. And
Yeah.
at this point, it's like I really don't care what anybody who knew me as that street person say now because they still know I still could do the same things when I was if you push me to that in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, I think that people have a certain way they think that, if you have God in your heart, or if you're
Hmm.
serving God, a certain way that it should look, a certain way that we were raised with hindering beliefs, like you
Hmm.
shouldn't drink, you shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't dance, you shouldn't gamble. It just depends on
That's religion.
how.
That's the
Huh?
religion part.
Right.
That's the religion part.
Right. And it keeps so many people away from serving God because they think that it looks a certain way. Like for me, my ministry is in the streets. You
Right.
know, I don't have a church home right now, but I am constantly praying with people. I'm constantly texting and motivating them. And it took somebody else to point that out to me. Everybody's ministry is different.
Well, I feel instead of ministering and preaching, it should come off as teaching. Because preaching, it sounds like they talking at you. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. So if you teach and it's some humor in it, where you're gonna captivate the younger group, the church would be full with young black men.
So right now you think the church is empty because of religion, of
Of course,
rituals.
because you got the people that do go out in the street, and it's like back in the days in New York. You'll walk past a abortion clinic, and them people was outside. Don't go in there, and forcing condoms on you and stuff like that. And it's like, I feel like life is a choice, because these same people who say don't do this or do that were once young and in our shoes and forgot of the things they did. So just like you change, you have to allow somebody because you don't learn unless you go through something. You have to experience life in order to go through things, and that's why God allows us to go through things in order to overcome those things and walk into our blessings. So if you're not in tune with that, then you're gonna stay on that level where you at in life. And then at 78 years old, you're miserable and calling the police on your neighbors for everything because you didn't get a chance to do what you wanted to do in life, you know?
So you know that your purpose is gonna make a lot of people nervous, right?
Of course, I got prophecies about it where they're going to send me. I'm going where the enemy is at, and so I don't mind doing it because I don't fear nothing but God. So, you going, and then I when I speak, you gonna listen regardless.
You do have an aggression about the way that you speak that causes people to listen. Very passionate, I
Hmm.
should say. I shouldn't use the word aggression because that can be seen as negative, but you are very passionate no matter what you're doing. If it's, promoting an artist or, talking about your purpose, talking about how women should be, treated like queens, you do have a passion about it.
Hmm.
So, how has it been received so far from
Um,
your closest peers? Like, are
you
they
know,
embracing you?
when you come from where I came from in the street and how I was in the street, you kind of build a pedigree. So now, even me changing and converting, the respect is still there to the fact where they want to do it, just because they know where I came from and the things that I did. So to see a change and say, well, he could do it, I could do it too. So I've been touching a lot.
Now that's the absolute truth. I get a lot of messages, from people that say, just keep doing what you're doing. Some days, like they're having a bad day, or they may be, really down,
Hmm.
and they'll see that, I keep a going, and it just gives them, the energy to do so. But I tell you what, it is hard. Um,
It is, but I feel like when you when you have when you figure out that motivation, like for me, what really pushed me into my mindset was just listening to a lot of Les Brown,
yeah, he's really good.
and it just woke me up. It really woke me up to where even I'm with my sister and I'm like, yo, I want to go to the mall and get a blazer for church.
All right.
And we go, just a random day we go, but I'm like, why is it so packed? But it was like youth, just packed. I couldn't find one in that mall. We go to another one. It was packed again. So I said, why? I asked the dude, I said, why is it so packed? He said, oh, they got a stimulus check. I didn't even want to buy nothing at that point because I didn't want to be a part of the ignorance.
Ah.
It was like they got that money and it was just all in the mall. And I'm like, wow. But I once walked in that, but I never got to see me in it. So now to be out of it and look in, it's like, whoa, I got to change that.
So, and that was my next question, because whenever somebody says to me, that's ignorance,
Yeah.
my next question is, what are you doing to help lessen the ignorance that you see?
Well, I'm starting it now with my nephews. Like I'm starting. I've been writing it down and doing things, but I want to start like an organization where it's like achieve it, believe it, leaders and kings. And I came up with little programs I use with them. Like I put them across from each other and had them toss the ball back and forth. And I told them I'm going to split in between y'all, but you still make sure that ball get across. In fact, have a conversation. I'm going to intervene in your conversation. Don't allow me, because the number one thing with youth is distraction. So I'm teaching them how to overcome distraction.
What type of distractions?
Um, temptation, temptation, because young children are one thing in the house, but the minute they leave the threshold, they become somebody else because of the peer pressure of others. And you could have this good kid, but then he's hanging out with this bad kid. What you think happens to the good kid?
They're gonna be, it's a peer pressure.
Emulate because I want to be down.
Yeah. Nobody wants to stand up and be the person that is outcasted for doing the right thing. You
Right.
know, and that not only happens with young kids, young males, that happens with older males as well. You
Now
know what
that's
I'm saying?
crazy.
Like you said, you're breaking the curse, but it continues to happen and perpetuate itself over and over again. You know, how can we break the curse at this stage in some people's lives?
The music, the music has to change. So like I said, you can I what I do now is like I got a record called Rabbi, right? And the hook is saying, I surrender, I gave my life to God, but still I flow hard. And it's a hard record. But if you listen to the lyrics, I'm telling you everything I did that made me surrender. You know, I dealt with the wrong chicks. I sold illegal shit. I had everything. God took it. No, I said I went through the book of Job, but God took everything, got it back, and He replaced it. So when you are being blessed and boasting in it, He'll take it. But when you know how to walk in your blessings, you ain't boasting. You just blessed with you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a taste and not just a yeah, I got this. So I broke out of that because I was one. You seen it. I go in the club, champagne, like you know, and now it's like I'm trying to open up an establishment, so I'm not investing in nobody else's establishment. Definitely not no liquor.
So, is it going to take everybody to go through something tragic, go through something hard, you know, get everything taken from them in order to find their purpose? Like,
Yeah, and this day and time, yeah, they have to sit still because one thing I've learned is as black men, we have pride and we always in a prove stage. So even if it's sometimes it could be a woman that's way out of our caliber, but we'll go do something that could jeopardize ourselves just to put us on that same caliber as that female to get into her grace. And she really ain't even thinking about you. She only smelling the money. So you pushing love and she fall in love with your hand.
I don't think it takes everybody to hit rock bottom to find their purpose. I think some people are lucky enough or blessed enough to know what their purpose is while they're walking in their blessings without tragedy.
Well,
So I disagree just
when
a
you
little bit
walking,
with that.
but you just said it. If you walking in your blessings, then you know your purpose.
Right.
But if you boasting in them, you don't know your purpose.
Okay. I
So
like that. So if
so
you're
they don't.
walking in your blessings, you know your purpose. But if you're boasting and being vain about it,
You don't even know that's a blessing. Sometimes it can come from Satan,
mm,
just to keep you as a worker. To it's like if you got a black female, she don't know she a queen yet, so she's out here and she's finessing these dudes. So if she got 10 dudes and she getting 500 from him, 1,000 from him, 15 from him. She going to recruit her homegirls. Yo, they got friends, they get money. So what you think happens now? They got an alumni. So you have to. They don't, and then to them it's like, yeah, I'm blessed. Yeah, that's Satan work.
yeah.
It's actually when you finessing, it's actually like voodoo.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can really understand what you're saying, and in the same token, you know, I'm gonna have to go, you know, and say, you know, the same with men. If they have, you know, lots of women that, you know, are after them or, you know, doing for them, they can't see it either until
Well, if
they.
the doing for them, it's like you're not even a man if you got a woman doing something for you, because it's supposed to be vice versa or 50-50. Man, when you say a lot of women after them, I've that's that's a daily situation. But because if you handsome and you know it and you know how to walk in that blessing, they you stopping them, but it's actually a different grade of woman. It's not the average attraction you used to was getting. Because now
Right.
the women that are seeing you now are seeing that godliness in you.
So you said to me, this is the year of the woman.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
Um, if you go back 90s, 2000s, The men was out. We were the hustlers. You know, we we,
Mm-hmm.
we, we, we got money in the street. That attracted females, and females were labeled for that. But then, come mid 2000s, women started enhancing and going to school and getting degrees and starting businesses. So they've out they surpassed men. Cause you got some dudes out here that's living off of females.
And when you say that they surpass the men, you mean in education, like salaries?
Level up, period. Wisdom.
Mm. Mm.
Wisdom. We we lost. Black men are lost because the woman, first and foremost, y'all already have it from young. If you give a 3-year-old little girl a baby doll, she know the bottle go in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all already have that. It just it
Nurturers.
enhances. It enhances.
Okay.
Even when you in a relationship with a dude, it's still nurturing. You take the place of his mother.
Mm. Yeah, I did that. Been there, done
So
that. And
so
he should be taking the place of my father. But I think a lot of men, when
not if
like,
it wasn't a father figure in the house to know what a man is supposed to do. So a lot of these men come from single mother homes, and a woman can't show a man how to be a man.
I
So
agree.
so now we get into these relationships and we whining. We complaining like how women complain, and that's a turn off.
Whew. Tell me about it.
So it's his levels in life. You become you're a kid, then you're boy, then you're a young man, right? And then you have to go into that stage of preparing yourself to be a king. If not, you become stuck into that state, and a lot of that has to do with habitat.
Yeah. So before now, you were never in the company of any kings?
Um, no. See, I got growing up from the old timers I was around. I learned the difference of what I was getting from them. Now I was just getting game. Now, from sitting with my sister and other females, I'm getting wisdom, right? Because the person who we blame the weather on name is Mother Nature, right?
Mm, yes.
She can change the weather of everything. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. So a woman, she got that wand because she can make a dude and mold him to what she want to mold him to, and input to level him up, and all he do is catapult her. But if you don't have that queen that's preparing herself for a king, then you stuck like Chuck.
Whew. Yeah, I think that, what you want to do is a very good thing, and that you have to really stick to it because
Well,
you
the
go
thing
ahead.
about my plan is for their young men goals is at 11 years old, you should be already writing down your future. You should be writing down the type of wife you want, the businesses you want, and all your goals in life, traveling, what kind of house you want. So when it's already written down and now you reading it off to yourself out loud, it's already manifested. So you're gonna attract what you put on that paper because it was already planned. So as black men, we don't plan. We
Yeah.
walk out, we see something nice, we holler at it. So that cycle has to get broken. Instead of hollering, you can you should be able to sit down and offer to take her out just on some friendship for conversation.
Amen. Amen.
Because the sex thing is overrated. It's 2021. By 2030, they're gonna be selling that shit in cans at Walmart. So it's like, why sometimes you can get what you need to get from a woman. They'll water the shit out of your seed. We
I
just have to know the type of woman we want in our life. So if I come out and I put on all my jewelry and what you think I'm attracting? Now if I got a suit on and I'm suited and booted, nice
Amen.
hard bottoms, groomed up nice, what you think I'm attract?
You know, my barber talks about that a lot. You know, he wants to have something that's similar to, you know, like the Million Man March, but he wants to do it with boys. And he wants them to dress up in suits and ties and button up shirts and just see how it feels because there's so many young black boys that don't even know what that means. You know what I'm saying? To be
Because
dressed up in a suit.
the average black man only go in a suit when somebody die.
Mm.
You
Eh,
understand? And I feel like when you're in a relationship and you know she's living over here and you living over here, she's supposed to see so many parts of you where you might come on some casual and then you surprise her with a nice dinner and you got on a nice suit. It ain't even got to be a suit. You got on a nice little turtleneck, some nice pants, cuff on the shoes, it's sitting nice. You smell good. She know what she got. She'll see the king in you. But if your underwear is hanging out and you got on sneakers and y'all at a seafood spot, what you think the conversation gonna be about?
I mean, does clothes really change your conversation? The way you
It
dress?
why I say that because right now, as I'm speaking on the microwave babies, if they feel they ain't lit, a chick ain't gonna check them.
Yeah.
To where that's where I came from and the confidence I got, and just me knowing who I am, I can put on some clothes from the gym, and my conversation alone, you gonna get that number up.
That's true. And I've seen a, you know, a family full of lost, you know, boys, like you say, the curse just perpetuates itself generation after generation.
Hmm.
And it's the same with women too, you know. It's just you know, you are what you see. You are what you know, you could tell your children all day long not to do something,
Hmm.
but like you said, they're gonna go out and they are going to, you know, do things their own way. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're gonna do it, you know, what makes comfortable. But then you have some kids that, you know, are different. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course,
That
because they already were anointed in the womb. You understand? They already were anointed in the womb. So in order to break what's missing in this generation here are the big mamas. Big mamas died off. And then
yeah.
what was under the big mama ain't even step up because she in the club with her daughter teaching her how to get drinks at the bar.
This is true. And it's, I mean, you know, my goal is to mentor young girls, you know, to be honest about what I've been through, what I'm going through, to
You
prevent them
you
from
you
making the
know
same mistakes. When they talk to
well.
me, I give it to
Mhm.
them blood raw.
See,
Like,
you know it can break the cycle of the young girls, teaching them that the same thing they expect from a man, they could do it to themselves. You can go get your nails done. You can go get your hair. Pamper yourself because you appreciate yourself more.
to be honest, a lot of the young women that I mentor are not trying to get money from men. They're trying to get love from them.
Mm.
They're trying to get attention from them. And they are using their bodies and their time and
So
their
this is
resources
this is
just because they want to be loved. They don't
now
they're in
now now now
fatherless
now,
homes.
now this is what help. This is what helps too. Now, when another black woman empowers a younger black woman, and then another woman is empowering her, so she got 10 women putting that power on her, it's gonna change.
Well,
But
how will it
if
change if you're saying, if she say for instance, I'm mentoring her, I'm giving it to her, like don't let a
hmm
guy use you, don't do all this type of stuff, but then all of her girlfriends are out there sleeping around or just giving themselves away, and that seems like the norm. You know what I'm saying? Everything is, you know, praised these days. Nothing is looked down upon. And the woman empowerment and getting and shooting their shot and being aggressive is what's promoted. So the girl that wants
I
to be
can say
courted, the girl that wants to be treated a certain way is gonna be single.
I can believe I can honestly say women are more aggressive now than men. Before it was a man was shooting a shot. Now a woman will be like, yo, what up? So I feel like uh, a change of habitat, um, just having them explore peaceful things. Because if you have to be at peace first, and as a mentor, you have to practice every day and choose the words that you say and put power behind them in order for them to be believable to change them. So it starts with the mentor. So if you mentor him, you gotta them words, you gotta pray over those words. And ask God to give you these certain things to say to captivate them. Because if you just talking and talking and talking like that, other people done already did that. So you got to say something that sparks their interest. Same way if you out and I'm out and I like what I see and I come talk to you, if I say the average blow smoke Joe shit, you like heard it. But if I'm going left field, I spark your interest. Now you laughing, the body language change. It's a conversation now because I
Yeah,
sparked
we
your
had a
interest.
whole show on that one. That's the absolute truth, you know. But I'm stuck on what you said because it's so true. I mean, I pray over them, I pray with them, I send them prayers, and I talk to them. But these young girls are still making the same mistakes over and over again because we have these young men
It's not the
that
young men.
pick up
It's not the
they
young
want
men.
energy and they picking up on they want love, and
Hmm.
then they're using them for sex when they know all along all these women want is just love, to be friends.
But then it's like this. I've known dudes who were on crack 5, 10 years. They go to jail, they get clean, they come back to the same neighborhood they started smoking crack in. What you think gonna happen? You have to leave that habitat.
How does a young person leave their friends though?
I
If
did it.
if it's their
I went
college
from,
mates
if
or
you
their
remember,
cousins that's doing it, how do you expect her or even the young man to
because
leave his habitat?
you have to have willpower. And like I said, you, me for instance, I left New York. I gave everything up. I moved to Florida. Florida for 5 years. Boom, I'm in Atlanta now. And I was going from state to state to state to state to state. So when you want something in life, you're gonna make it happen. Whether it's a
Ooh,
change,
it's a deja vu.
whether it's a change, or you looking for work, or you just got a vision of opening up something, you gotta go elsewhere because your habitat don't love you. The strangers support you. Family will fuck you over
Every
faster
time.
than anything. But a stranger will open his arms up.
And it's easy for you to say because you have moved. It's easy for me
Well,
to say because I have
I'm
moved.
testifying. I'm
Hmm.
testifying. I'm giving my testimony.
Amen.
So my thing is like, um, I'm in New York, and I'm like, damn, I'm in this project, I'm hustling, I'm getting money, but I'm buying champagne for the hood, and these niggas only come around when they hear them corks popping or them blunts rolling. So when I subtracted myself from that and I moved to Florida and I looked back in at the movie, they were doing the same thing without me to the next person who took my spot. And I said, these dudes don't change. So the next time I visited, he said, damn, you moved. You don't even come visit like that. I said, when I do come, I'm visiting. You here because you stuck here. And I refuse for your energy to keep me here because our conversation is the same. So if you hang around a $5 nigga, that's all y'all got to talk about.
But you do realize that some people just don't have it in them to leave their habitat, right? What
Of
are
course.
what are those people going to do who are afraid to move away from what's causing them harm or
I
move away what's from
honestly,
causing them trouble? What are they gonna do?
honestly, you can't help everybody. You can't, because what happens now is you at home and you like, why am I fatigued? I get so much sleep because you're giving so much energy to somebody who's not ready to receive it. Sometimes you can't help a person and you have to move away because maybe God want him to go or her to go through that thing. And it's not
Yeah.
meant for you to help them.
Yeah, I've had to learn that with the youth that I mentor. Some of them not ready to receive, and they drain me,
Of course.
and I have to say, okay, I'm gonna pray for you, and you can't come to me every day with the same thing if you're not ready to make a change.
I
So
have a I have a niece that's 10. I can sit down and have a conversation with her about a relationship because she enhanced because of how her mother molded her. You understand? And she came from what I came from, but she molded her to the fact where my niece already gonna know the type of dude she gonna marry. It's not gonna be a boyfriend because she already know what I'm doing when So my thing is like it starts in the house.
yeah, but everybody don't
We
have
can't.
that house to start at
You
though.
right, but even as you being a mentor, you understand you mentoring a young female. You have to come to her in a mother figure form. You can't be her friend. You can't. It's like right now, the young black men, they don't have OGs. It's not too many like me lasting. Back then, my OGs, if I was doing something wrong, they corrected it. Yo, come here, sit down. What you doing?
Yeah,
Now
Chris,
the OGs now smoking blunts with the young dudes.
but you forget you're talking about a microwave society, so you have to conform to the youth that you're trying to help. All of them are not going to hear you as a mother. Some of them I have to be a
Well,
big sister to.
I feel with
Some of them I got to be an auntie
yeah,
to.
yeah. I feel with with men, it's easier to relate, especially when they know what you came from and the pedigree you got, and then you change and you kicking it with them. They looking like, damn, that's he was doing this and doing that, and now
No,
it registers.
I have to beg to differ on that too. Just watching, my son grew up with his dad in the home, but his
Hmm.
dad wasn't a disciplinary person.
Right.
So whenever I would try to get him a mentor, he
Hmm.
wasn't trying to hear it because his dad didn't discipline him. So it wasn't no OG or nobody
But
that
but
could
but
come at him like that.
I promise you, if you sat him with me, he would have listened.
I don't know about that.
Listen, I can.
I
I got a,
I got
I got
another
two
young
nephews.
man I'm gonna put you
I got
on
I
that
got.
reminds me of my son that he people think that all youth that have gone bad didn't have both parents in the home, and that's
No,
the
that's not
furthest
true.
from the truth
That's
sometimes,
not
because
true.
sometimes you can have two parents in the home but not both of them are parenting or disciplining. So
Sometimes you can
still when
have
they get
both in the
out
house,
there,
and they
huh?
don't even. Sometimes you have both in the house, and they stuck in their own world because they trying to figure out their purpose.
Correct.
And it was even no planning of of them bringing me or any kid into the household. So now they just go on with life, and that's
Yeah.
what happens to why the youth get misconstrued. When there's no planning and no structure, and your parents are still trying to figure out life, what can they teach you?
Nothing, because but what do you as a youth know that you're missing until you get put out to the wolves in the world?
Well, you know what you're missing when you go to one of those friends' house and you see his mother. They at the table eating, and the father, and they saying they grace, and she's saying, "Get your school clothes ready," and you go and look in his closet, and all his clothes from Monday through Friday is ironed. He's prepared for school. His room is neat. He says, "No, ma'am," and "Yes, sir." That you know the difference of
Is this something
habitat.
you've experienced?
I've seen it
Because I
from
didn't.
me, from me growing up into one household and then going to my friend's house and like, wow, well, that's what love is.
Well, for me, I wasn't allowed to spend the night out. So it's gonna be
Hmm.
some kids that, they see stuff on TV. They don't think it's real. I wasn't allowed to spend the
Because
night out. I left home
we
when
came
I was.
from an era of rules.
Yeah, and I
It's no
chose to
rules.
follow them, even
Right.
though my sisters did not. So it's the
Nephew.
child's personality that you got to work
Let me
with.
cup.
You know, I
Right.
left home when I was 17. So a lot of things I learned along the way. I just was fortunate enough that my heart was different
Hmm.
than the average 17-year-old and, young adult that I was around. I just accepted that I've always been different.
Right.
Some and I was not okay with that, but I still fit it in certain areas. But there are some kids that just, you know, they don't have any motivation. You
Not at
know,
all.
there are some women. You're saying it's the year of the women. They don't have any motivation,
Well,
young or old.
now you got to remember this. Back then there were outlets. You had after school programs. You had community centers. So you had the young, the
Coach.
older, but right, and they listen. So it's like I said, it's the generational love of the '80s is missing now, because the average grandmother's like 28.
That's pretty low now.
I'm
So
t-
you saying 14 and then the next child had them at 14? That's not average, is it? Now I'm gonna have to look that one up, Chris.
I listen. I know a
Woo!
situation like that. She had her daughter at 14. The daughter now got a baby at 14.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they
I mean, it's
emulate what's
pretty
in
low.
front of them. So when the mother, she living her life because she had a baby young, so she's still trying to enjoy life, and now she find out the daughter got a boyfriend, and she trying to live her life, and the daughter saying, "Oh, I need my hair done." You know what that average mother saying? You got a boyfriend? Tell that nigga get your hair done.
Chris, you grew up in a different place than I grew up.
That's what's going on.
Because I grew up in a household where my mom and dad got divorced when I was 10.
Right.
And my mom was like, you got to take care of yourself. Men ain't nothing, blah, blah, blah.
See,
That's what she put in
you
my
came
ear. And
from
she made me super independent,
right.
which a
But what
lot of men
I'm not
say
I'm
that's
not
my
saying
fault. Hmm?
that in the households, yeah, when Big Mama gave instruction to your mama. What I'm trying to say is when that Big Mama already passed, and now that other generation after her, it's nothing leading it. You can't even sit at a table right now on Thanksgiving without everybody on their phone.
Hey, we got some amen people in your corner. Tyrena said, wow, so true. Nakisa say he's speaking the truth though. So I
Yeah.
mean it's just something I didn't experience. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Well, it's New York. So like I seen in New York, even with the household I was in, it was like, my mom's had a stroke, and who was supposed to be there as a father figure for us wasn't. So when he's coming in at 2, 3 in the morning, and then he's like, "Hey, your friend's still outside. You want to go outside?" I'm going outside 2, 3 in the morning at 11, 12 years old. What do you think I'm seeing?
wow.
So I became a monster.
Wow.
So it's like I said, it starts in the house, and one thing you gotta learn from a young girl, they like when they say women are like cats, they curious. So they if you a young girl hears something, she wanna know the definition of it. She sees something, she wanna know why. So if she see Peter at her house coming to see her mother, and then Peter leaving, and Tuesday Jamal there, what you think she gonna do when she get older?
Yeah. It's the
And
truth. We have to
and
lead
the,
by example.
and
That's
the
true.
same thing with men. I've seen my uncle. I'm young. He say, "Hey, come with me. I'm going to my girl house." And he got a kid with this lady. And he sits there, and I sit on the couch, and he goes in the room with her. He do whatever he do. He comes out, he get dressed, he get me, and we go to another lady house. And he goes, "Oh, this is your aunt too." And I'm like, "What?" So
All
if
right.
I didn't, if I didn't, if I came from his household, then I would be my uncle too.
So, Chris, what are we going to do?
Um,
So, you talked about this the year of the woman. You talking about living life wrong and now you're living life right. You've given your life to God. What are we going to do now? What do you want to do
Well, it
to
starts. It
stop the
starts.
curse?
I'm gonna tell you what happens in the curse now, where it's so big. When you get these dumbass chicks called the city girls, and they tell a nigga to fly me out. So what you think these young girls
Get
gonna do?
flued out.
So, and then you got these little corny ass rappers who paying for sex. So it's like, why value myself when I know this nigga will give me $16,000 for 5, 10 minutes, if that? So
Um,
to break it, you gotta have some powerful women come together with that raw, where you make them listen. You
And I
ever
feel the
heard?
same way about the man.
You ever came across IG and you scrolling down and you hear something and it catch you so much you go back up and scroll to it because it caught your attention.
Yeah.
That's just what's going on now. They strolling. Something has to catch your attention.
And I feel the same exact way that we need a group of strong black men to step up.
This is what happens. You see how you start in your woman group for those youth of women. Men have to get involved with y'all too, so they get that side of a man too. And I think they'll receive it more. That's why I told you right now. The average dude couldn't take me sitting in the room. I'm gonna break it down to him. 'Cause I speak God wherever I go, aggressively too. So
All right.
the minute you even say something in vain about what I'm speaking, I'm going in your mouth. Because I believe in what I say. I stand behind it. So I've never got that problem. They always listen.
So listen to this. Nikisa says they leave these youngins out here to fend for themselves. Blind leading the blind is a lot of this in the prior generation, but I refuse. I was, in certain ways, not like my generation, and I darn sure will not let my baby be her generation.
Not at
It
all.
needs unity all together, not just female, but
Hmm.
both of them,
I
male
said
and the
that.
female. So she's saying exactly what you just said, and she's young
Hmm.
too, in her 20s, and she's making the decision to break the curse for her and her daughter.
And sometimes that takes uh,
Strength.
always keeping that daughter busy. Come on, can I go outside and play? No, come on, we going together. We gonna get our nails done. We gonna show them how to be that woman, that where she ain't looking for that. You gotta see when you it's what you sowing. So if you sowing the right stuff, the seed gonna bloom. It's gonna grow right. But if you putting the wrong thing into them, see the brain is like a computer, which they download in is what. So I had a bunch of downloads that caused the virus, right? So once I cleaned out my motherboard and put what I needed to in, I'm something else.
You got it. We got to get it out to more people. And this is why I started the podcast. I
Hmm.
feel like if I have a broadcast and I touch just one person during that broadcast, I've done what I was supposed to do. And I hope that that one person touches another person. So, hey, our hour is up. It went really,
Okay.
really fast. And I know that you have an artist for me. So, first, what I want you to do is tell everybody about your song, which is the Rabbi song, because I really like that one. And
Um.
then tell me about this female artist that you are promoting.
Okay.
And tell them where to follow you guys
Uh
at, and
huh.
all that, or we'll put it in the comments too. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I can start off that. You can follow me at from Black Sheep, the number two to the goat. Um, I got a song called Rabbi. It's actually my testimony to the industry. Great song, a lot of pain involved in it. I've been getting good responses. Um, enough about me though, cause I'm humble.
But
My
I'm gonna say this while you say that. That is
hmm
living through it.
Yeah.
That's my purpose, to
Hmm.
help people live through their pain, live through
Hmm.
their tragedy, and I'm so proud of you. You know, I'm just so excited about what God is doing in your life, and how you're just being a soldier for God and not being ashamed. And I just think that you are going to touch a lot of people just being the man that you are. We need to see black men, male and female, need to see black men living life, but also living for Christ, so that we can show them that it is a way to have God in your heart. It is a way to serve God and still live, still have music, still have
Hmm.
life about you. All right, now, Miss Gemini,
Um, she's from Miami. She's out. She's
down
living out.
south.
She's actually living out in Atlanta right now. Um, very talented. She does rap and she sings. So it's crazy we talk on this, Miss Tans, because last night I recorded a song with her called "Daddy Issues," and
Wow, I'm telling you.
she spoke on that, and I'm like, wow, like so. even when y'all do that interview, that's a whole nother because she's a woman. So the young women that are tuning in, she gonna tell that story because recording the record it made me tear.
Mm.
And I had to put my shades on because I'm like, man, I ain't like
I'm a
so
G.
right. So but it touched me and then she broke down recording it and I was like, wow. So
It's okay to cry. I think for a woman to see a man cry is a beautiful thing.
oh, it's some fly shit. Let me tell you something. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes. But she she's turning into a butterfly now. And I'm happy for her and she's very talented, she's gifted, she's spiritual, and she floats with life. I've never met a woman ever in my life that it looked like they walking on water.
Hmm.
That shit is so attractive. Like she floats. She speaks so soft and she's just so earthly. She hugs trees and play with bugs, that type of shit. But I love it because I'm learning to be attracted to different things and not a butt or her breasts or her pretty face. It's different because that the beauty is just a bonus. But this is a
I'm telling
different
you,
situation.
black women need more black men to be open and communicative to just tell them how beautiful and talented they are and not want anything in return but to uplift them.
Well, you know why the black women don't respect black men now? And I'm very blunt. I don't bite my tongue. I'm in Atlanta. These black men are very open. If you get my drift, and
I
it's like,
do.
why should I respect him?
Yeah.
So when a person like me comes, if I tell you, it's like they come, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
So now when I sit back and realize why, I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
how do I say I can't even cure that?
You can't. You could just pray about it, you know, and set an example. That's all you can do. And the like you said, the younger men that you have coming after you, just set an example to try to break the curse so that young girls. I have a daughter that's almost 20, and I'm telling you that she says the pickings are slim, you
Yeah.
know. um we had a show before where they said maybe we have to go outside of our race, but that's a different show for us to talk
No,
about. So
see the thing about it is the younger women are coming after the older man now. The older man with his shit together, oh, they flocking,
and
boy.
I'm gonna tell you, the younger man is coming after the older woman
Yes, that's the new shit.
because she has her things together and they don't want to
Yes,
deal with the young woman
twerker.
that
She
doesn't.
twerking. She just twerking on Instagram.
Right. It is it's really a big gap. You are
Yeah.
absolutely correct about that. I didn't know the younger women were going after the older men, but I know the
What?
younger men are definitely coming after the older women.
Miss Hands, it's so disgusting. Sometimes I be just having to deactivate my Instagram. The
The
DMs
young
is
girls are after you?
crazy.
Really? Just
'Cause
aggressive, huh?
if you remember the old me, I was slim. Now I got my little built on.
All right
My
now.
I'm glowing. I'm godly. So they see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
floating.
You got to be real careful.
I'm good.
You got to be real careful.
Cause the new me, honestly, I'm following how God wanted. Marriage, dinner. So I could wait for it.
All right.
Cause I've been there, done that.
That is very, very admirable. But you guys can follow Miss Gemini at It's Gemini, ITSJMENI. So it's not like the regular Gemini, it's ITSJMENI. And I am going to have her on soon,
Hmm.
to, have her to talk about her life and her songs. And Mr. Chris, I just want to thank you for your
I
time.
thank you and appreciate you. Gratitude. Grace.
Thank you.
It's a blessing.
You are a blessing to me tonight, and I know that you are a blessing to our listeners. So, you guys, I want you to always remember to not just be alive, but to live through it. This is DJ Miss Tan, and I'm signing out.